Hello, my dear friends. Today we'll talk about the very hot Ukrainian political week, situation inside of Ukraine, around of Ukraine, of course about energy situation with Nord Stream. Many topics we'll talk about today. Let's start. Of course, we will start from the visit of the Chancellor of Germany to the United States and the joint statement of the United States and Germany on support of Ukraine, European energy security and our climate goals. Before this joint statement, we heard very hard and extremely confrontational discussion inside the United States, inside the Germany, of course from the Ukraine, Poland, or other Eastern European countries about the future of Nord Stream 2. This discussion was very brutal and sometimes leads us to conflict between Ukraine and our Western partners. Ukrainian president, for example, made a lot of critical announcements, statements on the Merkel and Biden. Because, of course, Ukraine lose a lot if Nord Stream 2 will work in the future. Ukraine will lose more than $2 billion every year. This week, Angela Merkel, Joe Biden announced their common position in joint statement, and I'll try to citate it. Due to this joint statement, the United States and Germany are steadfast in their support for Ukraine's sovereignty, territorial integrity, independence, a chosen European path. We recommit ourselves today to push back against Russian aggression and the mailing activities in Ukraine and beyond. The United States pledges to support Germany's and France's efforts to bring peace to eastern Ukraine via the Normandy format. Germany will intensify its efforts within the Normandy format to facilitate the implementation of the Minsk agreements. The United States and Germany affirm their commitment to tackling the climate crisis and taking decisive action to reduce emissions in 2020 to the keep of 1.5 degrees Celsius temperature limit within reach. The United States and Germany are united in their determination to hold Russia to account for its aggression and mailing activities by imposing costs via sanctions and other tools. We commit to working together via the newly established United States-Europe Union high-level dialogue on Russia and via bilateral channels to ensure the United States and the European Union remain prepared, including with the appropriate tools and mechanisms to respond together to the Russian aggression and the mailing activities, including Russian effort to use energy as a weapon. Should Russia attempt to use energy as a weapon or commit further aggressive acts against Ukraine, Germany will take action on the national level and press the effective measures at the European level, including sanctions to limit Russian exports capability to Europe in the energy sector, including gas and/or in other economically relevant sectors. This commitment is designed to ensure that Russia will not measure any pipelines, including Nord Stream 2, to achieve aggressive political ends by using energy as a weapon. We support the energy security of Ukraine and Central and Eastern Europe, including the key principles enshrined in the European Union Third Energy Package of diversity and security of supply. Germany underscores that it will be abide by both of the letter and the spirit of the Third Energy Package with respect to the Nord Stream 2 under German jurisdiction to ensure unbundling and third-party access. This includes an assessment of any risk posed to the certification of the project operator to the security energy supply of the European Union. The United States and Germany are united in their belief that it is in Ukraine's and Europeans' interest for gas transit via Ukraine to continue beyond 2024. In line with this belief, Germany commits to utilize all available leverage to facilitate an extension of up to 10 years to Ukraine's gas transit agreement with Russia, including appointment a special envoy to support their negotiations, to begin as soon as possible and no later than September 1. The United States commits to fully support these efforts. The United States and Germany are resolute in their commitments to the fight against climate changes and ensuring the success of the Paris Agreement by reducing our own emissions in line with net zero by 2050 at latest, encouraging the strengthening of climate ambition of other major economies and collaborating on the policies and technologies to accelerate the global net zero transition. That is why we have launched the United States-Germany Climate and Energy Partnership. The partnership will foster United States and Germany collaboration on developing actionable roadmaps to reach our ambitious emissions reducing targets, coordinating our domestic policies and priorities in sectoral decarbonization initiatives and multilateral fora, mobilizing investment in energy transition and development, demonstrating and scaling critical energy technologies such as renewable energy and the storage, hydrogen energy efficiency, and the electric mobility. As a part of United States and Germany Climate and Energy Partnership, we have decided to establish a pillar to support the energy transition in emerging economies. This pillar will include a focus of supporting of Ukraine and other countries in Central and Eastern Europe. These efforts will not only contribute to the fight against climate changes, but will support European energy security by reducing demand for Russian energy. In line with these efforts, Germany commits to establish and administer a green fund for Ukraine to support Ukraine's energy transition, energy efficiency, and energy security. Germany and the United States will endeavor to promote and support investments of at least $1 billion in the Green Fund for Ukraine, including from the third parties such as private sector entities. Germany will provide an initial donation to the fund at least $175 million and will work toward extending its commitments in the coming budget years. The fund will promote the use of renewable energy, facilitate the development of hydrogen, increase energy efficiency, accelerate the transition from coal, and foster carbon neutrality. The United States plans to support the initiative via technical assistance and policy support consistent with the objectives of the fund, in addition to programs supporting market integration, regulation reform, and renewables development in Ukraine's energy sector. In addition, Germany will continue to support bilateral energy projects with Ukraine, especially in the field of renewables and the energy efficiency, as well as coal transition support, including the appointment of a special envoy with a dedicated fund of $70 million. Germany is also ready to launch a Ukraine resilience package to support Ukraine's energy security. This will include efforts to safeguard and increase the capacity for reverse flow of gas to Ukraine, with the aim of shielding Ukraine completely from the potential future attempts by Russia to cut gas supplies to the country. It will also include technical assistance for Ukraine's integration into European electricity grid, building and in coordination with the ongoing work by the European Union and the United States. Agency for International Development. In addition, Germany will facilitate Ukraine's inclusion in Germany's cyber capacity building facility, support efforts to reform Ukraine's energy sector, and assist with identifying options to modernize Ukraine's gas transmission system. The United States and Germany expressed their strong support for the Three Seas initiative and its effort to strengthen infrastructure, connectivity, and energy security in Central and Eastern Europe. Germany commits to expand its engagement with the initiative with an eye towards financially support projects of the Three Seas initiative in the fields of regional energy security and renewable energy. In addition, Germany will support projects of common interest in the energy sector via European Union budget with contribution of up to $1.7 billion during 2021-2027. The United States remains committed to investing in the Three Seas initiative and continues to encourage concrete investment by members and others. There are a big disappointment of this declaration in Ukrainian elites and Ukrainian society. Talking honestly about the Washington Declaration, we should notice a few main things through the declaration. The first one, the main goal of the Washington Declaration of the United States and the Federal Republic of Germany is to give an answer, to close the mouth, to critics inside and the countries of Eastern Europe, Republicans in the United States, Greens in Germany, Poland and Ukraine, to reduce the level of public criticism and distrust of Nord Stream 2. Important climate issues have also become a cover element. Second one, that is why the statement is made, the first, publicity, not behind the curtains. The second, in the format of document with extremely low legal force. Declaration or statement, not a contract on agreement. Does not provide for guaranteed obligation, but only intention to anyone else, for example, for Ukraine. That is why financial assistance was promised to Ukraine, more than $1 billion, and the Three Seas initiative, the unification of the post-socialistic countries except of Austria to the $1.7 billion United States dollars, strongly influenced by the United States. The fourth, potential assistance to Ukraine is not only not guaranteed by the agreement, but also has extremely specific character. A hypothetical $1 billion of the Green Fund, 175 from Germany, then from the United States, and unknown private investor. I would not be surprised if the participants of the Nord Stream 2 consortium, including Gazprom, should go to the development of green energy, coal, hydrogen program. $70 million will go to the special envoy from Germany and his projects in Ukraine. Plus, a still undefined sustainability package for Ukraine is expected, which will provide support for reverse and modernization of the GTS. The fourth, in fact, Germany also received a carte blanche from the United States to complete their project Nord Stream 2, but shared with them to the political and possibly economical cost of this project, with the general green policy, green line. Joe Biden once again established himself in the role of the leader of the Western world to coordinate with European affairs. Even Angela Merkel arrived. For the first time, guarantees of the using of Ukrainian gas transportation system are linked to the implementation of the Minsk Agreement, and this will become an instrument in the hands of Germany and the Russian Federation. For the first time, the expansion of Russian aggression against Ukraine is linked not only with the sanctions, but also with the obligation to reduce the consumption of Russian energy resources in the European Union. The Germany's promise to extend the transit contract through Ukraine for 10 years will require a new negotiation with the Russian Federation and the mutual concession. They can either lead to the re-signing of the current transit contract or promising from the Russian Federation to extend such a contract in the future. It is quite realistic that the Russian Federation will initially play along with the German partners and allow Merkel to save face. And yes, Ukraine has learned the classical lesson that interests are more important than principles in international policy. And whatever the involvement of the Western in Ukraine affairs, we can and have already become the subject of collusion in any moment. And yes, we have little influence on sanctions and strategic relation between the West and the Russian Federation. Of course, it's very distressing situation, and of course, this situation will lead Ukraine to find another partners in the world. Ukrainian power still is divided into two main sides. One of these sides said this Washington Declaration is good for us. It maybe will take the guarantees for transit through our territory in the future. And the second part said they sell us to Russia, and we should find another partners. What we do for Ukraine? The first one, negotiate with the Western partners on financial assistance and seek internal resources for the development of our own gas and coal production. Continue to work on energy efficiency, thinking about the possible legal claims against the European Union. After all, we have an association of agreement. The second one sits down at the negotiation table with the European and the Russian Federation regarding the possibility of creating an trilateral consortium, a producer, a transit country, and a consumer. The third one, we should think about the admission of international, even Russian, foreign energy companies to Ukrainian market to regulate and reduce prices for consumers. Many options we have, but in any case, this situation push us to reverse, to rethink our external policy and the policy against our partners. At the same situation, at the same time, the situation in Ukrainian economy is not very well. We have the big risk of inflation. The National Bank of Ukraine in this week has flew the forecast for inflation in 2021 from 8 to 9.6%, with a glance of the line of growth of prices and further updates to food. Also, the National Bank of Ukraine has advanced their regional rate by 0.5%, and the reduction of the regional rate from 8 till 8.5 in 2020. The inflation increases because a lot of money are inside of financial market nowadays is one of the biggest problems for Ukraine, also like a tariff problems, like a problems with the energy sectors. To the end of this week, Mr. Kondratyuk, head of Ukrainian External Intelligence Service, was fired. He was a person who has not only good contacts with Mr. Avakov, fired last week, or Mr. Kolomoisky, but he was responsible for the negotiations with the United States, with the world mass media, and he was responsible for the energy sector. New man, Mr. Litvinenko, who came from the National Institute of Strategic Researches, came to this place. Of course, we are also waiting for the changes, more deeper changes in Ukrainian government. But I think these changes will be only after the visit of Mr. Zelensky to the Mr. Biden on 30 August. After this visit, Ukrainian government has a good chances to be resolved at all. In any case, nowadays there are many talking about the changing three ministers: Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Culture, and Ministry of Justice in Ukraine, even before the visit of President of Ukraine to the President of the United States. Very interesting, the date of this visit 30 August, very special date. This date was not planned before because a few months ago the Ukraine and the United States talking about the meeting in July, then in the beginning of August, and nowadays we know that this meeting will be at 3rd August. Maybe this date of this meeting is changing under the pressure of few reasons. The first reason, of course, it's very possible that till 30 August, Nord Stream 2 will be finished. Building of this gas stream will be finished, and Ukrainian president will not be able talking with Mr. Biden about the every common politic for stopping this building of this gas pipeline. The second one reason, it's inside American reason. 30 August in the United States, it's summer, it's holiday time in the American policy, for American elites, and it's the time when the Congress doesn't work, so it will be more difficult to make any presentation meetings with the congressmen's opposition politicians for Mr. Zelensky and his team on that date. Of course, it's very important for the Biden's team because Republicans in the United States use Russian factor for attacking Biden. And the third one reason for this date of meeting is because 1 week before this meeting in Ukraine will try to represent the first meeting for Crimea platform. And the meeting of 30 August means that Biden will not be be present in this meeting of Crimea platform. And maybe this is a signal from the United States to Russian administration, a signal for new pragmatic rational policy. In any case, this meeting between Ukrainian and American president is very necessary, but I'm sure the result of this meeting will not be so useful as we want. Thank you for watching this blog. Please write down your question. Very hot summer. Also, you should subscribe for this channel, channel in Russian language. On Russian language channel, we will try to make online translation for next week to giving the answer for all your questions. Thank you for watching. Have a good holiday. Have a good summer. See you later. Bye bye, friends.